check, 1, 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We are here and we are live.
Hi.
All right. Let's get the music down. All right, welcome to another live episode of the Rough Report. Thank you for joining us. It's Nat's birthday today. I got to give you a little more room on the camera here.
It's my birthday. Give me room on my birthday.
All right.
That's why I'm wearing clothes. We went out for dinner, and so I'm still wearing clothes.
Yeah, usually when you do the show, you're in like pajamas or a onesie.
Yeah, because it's at
your
home.
Batman onesie or something like that.
No. But we went out, and so I'm wearing actual clothes.
Looking professional today.
Wearing
I
clothes.
guess that's a stretch.
Wearing outside clothes
Okay.
today.
All right, and if you were in the chat, let us know you're here, and let me know that my chat module thing is even working.
Functional.
I don't know
I still suspect you need to log into something.
It says sign into chat, but
I feel like you need to sign into something.
but it also says welcome to chat.
I
right?
feel like you need
Oh
to.
no! Look,
Oh.
we got John.
We got a happy birthday. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. All right, maybe we don't need to
all
sign
right,
into anything.
all right.
I'm not
Thank
sure.
you, chat. All right, so yeah, we got some fun topics today. There's a lot of not fun stuff going down still in this world, but there's a little bit of fun stuff we can report on, and of course, top of everyone's news feed. Trump got convicted. And honestly, what? To the surprise of who? To the surprise of who?
I mean, okay. I don't think it's a surprise that he's guilty. I think the surprise was that jury unanimously came back with a conviction, given that one of the jurors stated that his only news source was True Social, and so that was a bit of a surprise that even that juror was like, "Oh shit, he fucking did it. He did all that shit."
Yeah. And it's pretty interesting in that regard. Like, and it's pretty funny that they had a juror that admitted that.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Well, that's the thing too, is that you only get so many strikes against jurors, right? Like you
Yeah.
can't just completely
Yeah, you
strike
can't
out
just-
the
yeah,
entire
yeah.
jury pool and be like, "Well, I guess there's no one qualified to be on this jury. I guess that means this trial can't happen," right?
Yeah.
You only get so many, and so yeah, it absolutely, I think, makes sense that someone whose only source of news is True Social found their way onto the jury, right? But again, hilarious that it was unanimous.
yeah.
So a bit unexpected, but hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And of course, the question on a lot of people's minds is what is going to happen next? And I hate to be the pessimist in this. I hate to piss on everybody's fucking cornflakes here.
Thank you, Jessica.
But I don't think shit's going to happen.
No.
It's going to be whatever's going to happen in terms of consequences to Trump.
Yeah.
It will be extremely underwhelming.
Yeah. Will he see the inside of an actual jail cell?
No. No, not a chance.
Yeah.
Not a
Honestly,
chance.
and
And that should tell you loud and clear. Like, I know this is like a cliched thing to say, and it's almost one of those things where even when people say it, you kind of think, oh, there's some truth to that. Not 100% truth to that, right? But no, powerful people don't get punished. Okay, not
No.
in this system that we have. That's not. It's a different set of rules that apply to these people. It is a tiered justice system. As much as it's not supposed to be, as much as it's like written in their magic tablets.
as much as they present that justice is blind, that's not the case.
No.
Justice sees color. Justice sees money.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it also sees, what is it? The dignity and the decorum of the institutions. That's what a lot of it comes down to. Like that it would just be very ugly and very messy to have a former president go to jail. That's what it comes down to for a lot of these people. Like, I have said time and time again that, if this justice system and if Merrick Garland was interested in justice, was interested in making sure that these powerful people are held accountable to the law, they would already be behind bars.
Yeah.
If the law applied to them the same way it does everybody else, they'd be behind bars already.
Yeah.
Giuliani, Trump, the whole lot of them.
Yeah. Like so James posted a throwback to an episode that we had. Was it from 20? It was from lockdown, so it was from 2020. Yeah, it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was when we first started kind of playing around with the show. We were still going live to Facebook because that was the only platform we were streaming it to at the time.
I don't know. James has been in charge of like setting this up from the get go.
It was before we started streaming it to YouTube. So that episode is on the Rough Go Facebook page, and that's what I shared it from.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's so that sweet summer child Nat from 2020, she, I think, would have believed that Trump would see some potentially inside of a jail cell.
I would have thought that was a potential at that time as well.
Yeah.
I would have thought there was some potential for it.
Yeah.
For sure.
But at the same time, I think it's hilarious rewatching the episode that already I stated that what Trump was doing was an lead up so that if the election did go his way, that he could deny the election results and try to whip up his base into a frenzy, which literally happened. And
that is literally what happened.
Yeah,
yes,
and this doesn't mean
quite literally.
Yeah, and this does not mean in any way that I am psychic or that I have a better grasp of politics than anyone else. This just means that he was telegraphing this for so long
that it was obvious to everyone.
Obvious. Yeah.
Okay, so that was the old theme music we used to use before I wrote the current theme song that you hear now. We were using like no copyright kind of fun Spanish guitar music.
Yeah.
Do you remember at what point you said that?
About 24 minutes.
24 minutes?
Just slightly prior to, but approximately 24 minutes.
Okay. Oh, look at us. We're so young
tiny
bright
babies.
And bushy-tailed.
Yeah.
Yeah. We and both about 30 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's what was it? Where's my screen within the screen? There we go. That's what I want. There we are. Okay. So
it's like literally nothing. Like no one is going to hold him accountable for anything. So why would you hold anything back? There's no reason to. Rewind like slightly. So I think about
I'm going to turn that up to.
There we go. So yeah, let's say like the 23.
And
plus,
like
it
pops up his
like
base because he's hoping that these people with the say that.
Although I still can't hear
things are a distraction, but
you always talked very quietly.
No, but like I can't hear anything.
Well, yeah, here. Here. If I do this, you might hear it a bit better. You'll hear yourself a bit less, but yeah.
When everything that he's doing is horrific, then that doesn't hold up. Like all of it is awful. All of it is sincerely terrible. And the fact that he's into like his 4th year like of his term and that he hasn't like gotten any repercussions legally, like nothing happened from the impeachment. Like he's emboldened. Like he's got nothing to lose. Like literally nothing. Like no one is gonna hold him accountable.
Wow, we're like prophetic.
So why would he hold anything back? There's no reason to. And plus, like it pops up his base because he's hoping that these people with the rifles and shit who are going in front of government buildings to protest for their rights, for things to open back up again. He's hoping that, by collecting these people and supporting these people, that should he get legally voted out in November, then he can say that it's an illegitimate election and rely on these same people to basically stage a coup for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Prove me wrong, Nat. Prove me wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's not that I have the powers of prognostication.
Yeah,
it's that
yeah.
He has been,
Well, you completely called it, though.
he's been telegraphing this the entire fucking time.
Yeah.
Like this. It's
Yeah.
just
It
what
was,
it is.
in like, you know, the number of people that were, and it just goes to show, it doesn't matter if, you know, they're deliberate liars
Mhm.
or they're just wrong, you know, because like they want to believe or whatever the case may be. You
Yeah.
know, or they're just like misinformed and led astray. The result is the same because
Yeah.
all of them, all the Trump supporters, you know, oh, he's not gonna do anything like that. You know, everybody just relax. You know, the racism isn't there, the bigotry isn't there, the wants to be a dictator isn't there, the wants to live above the law just isn't there. You're just all panicking. It's in your heads.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like the
These
gaslighting.
are deeply unserious people.
It's
okay?
almost like the gaslighting is feature, not a bug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like what you
They
are
are deeply
witnessing,
unserious
what you
when
are
they say this.
experiencing, isn't what you're experiencing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't need to take you seriously because you're hysterical because you're describing reality.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why, like, you know, to anybody who follows me on Twitter and sees me, like, getting into it with Nazis, I never really get into it. I just sort of refuse their argument and let them get angry about it. And that's why, because, like, what? Why would I treat this with any level of
Gravity.
gravity that, like,
Yeah.
that what we're having
Mhm.
is a sincere discussion. As
Yeah.
much as even in that guy's head, he can say all the livelong day that he's having a sincere discussion. He is not.
Mhm.
He is not,
No.
because because he
He's
thinks
not,
like that.
see?
Yeah. He
Yeah,
is Nazi.
yeah,
Yes. So, like, yeah. As I always advise, do not take these fucking people seriously when it comes to
No.
dialogue. They're not interested in your fucking dialogue. Okay.
Like if you want to exercise your own debate skills at someone, then fine, I can't tell you how to spend your time. But if you're actually trying to like change the world, then don't waste your breath. Don't waste your time.
You're not going to do it by talking to those guys. I can
Sincerely
tell you that
not.
much.
No.
Yeah.
Like if this is just
If
like
you want to just take the piss, yeah, it's really easy to do. You just you just say, I don't have respect for your argument and I refuse it.
yeah.
And if you even just saying that really upsets them.
Yeah.
And I find that really funny. So like that's a great way to take the piss.
Yeah.
But yeah, like actually talking to these people, I don't know. And then and even furthermore, fucking actually talking to liberals. Like I was saying, Merrick Garland and all the people that want to defend him to no end, defend our institutions and the dignity of the process to no end, defend Biden to no end. Like I said, if the law applied to Trump the way it does everybody else, he'd already be behind bars. And listen to the way that they talk about this stuff and that they launder it and that they pad it. Like, okay, here we go. This is from MSNBC and talking about comments made by Merrick Garland in regards to the Trump case.
Prosecutor has urged speedy trials, with which I agree. And this is now in the hands of the judicial system, not in our hands. Special prosecutors followed the facts and the law. They brought cases when they thought they were ready.
Attorney General Merrick Garland
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. They brought cases when they thought they were ready. How long does it take to get this ready?
All of it.
Like, if you had, like, say, any regular person throwing a coup, how long would it take them to get them put behind some bars? How long would that take? Would it take 4 years? It's laughable.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so, this is all about the process, but you get everything ready. Like, God, then, okay, let's hear the smiling talking heads launder this for all of us.
making rare public comments on Jack Smith's cases to CNN this week, urging a speedy trial. Garland hitting on the big question of the moment, which is when or even if Jack Smith's cases go to trial. The federal election interference case remains on pause while Trump's attempt to get the case thrown out over claims of presidential immunity makes its way through the appeals process. A decision on that from an appeals court could be imminent, but every day that goes by without a ruling throws that March 4th trial date further into question.
Yeah, no fucking kidding. No fucking kidding. This is from 4 months ago, by the way,
Yep.
this video.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, this is all just theater.
yeah.
Like the fact that it's gone on this long, the fact that there are no other candidates than Biden and Trump
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Like they know the vast majority of like the 40s and under kind of voters are tired of seeing old as fuck white dudes with way too much power and hubris
with
trying to run things.
with a few years left who have literally no skin in the game
Yeah.
as to the outcome.
Yeah. So, like, when we were saying, please no more old white guys in 2016, 2020 came along and they're just like, how about the oldest motherfuckers you ever seen in your life?
Yeah, in 2024, they're just like, if we could dig up someone older, we fucking would.
I wouldn't say, to Jessica's comment in the chat here, that is pretty much an oligarchy at this point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say pretty much. That is what it
Definitely,
is.
definitely, literally, yeah.
That is quite explicitly what it is without the people doing it telling you that. Like, hi, you're in an oligarchy. They're not going to like say it like that, right?
Mm.
But the way I would phrase it is, yeah, that's entirely what it is.
Yeah.
They are run by like a handful of rich dudes,
Yeah.
and that's it.
And they don't even care about pretending otherwise anymore.
Yeah, like the facade is barely there.
Yeah.
Like you got these people kind of trying to like polish it up for you. Like
Mhm.
this is how court processes work. And I'm sorry, it doesn't take 4 years for an obviously guilty guy to put away, especially when there's a sense of political urgency about it.
Yeah.
Or at least there should be.
Yeah.
But it seems like the only political urgency is to not rattle Trump too much. We can't scare him too much because then
Yeah.
he might get his base after us. And it's just like,
And that's
do you see how fucked up that is?
that's demented.
It's
Like,
demented.
sincerely just off the fucking
Yeah,
rails.
like you let this get to a point where you're afraid of enacting justice. Like, is that what this is?
Yeah.
How else do you okay.
Only good things can come of this, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, it goes on.
Jen.
So.
Adding to the doubt over the trial date, the judge overseeing this case, Tanya Chutkan, acknowledged in a ruling yesterday that it would likely get delayed. We are back with Tim and with Basil. Tim, it is not every day we hear from Merrick Garland. What do you make of his comments?
So I love this. This is like we don't show mainstream news clips like this a lot, and maybe we should more often, because this like 3 talking heads on the screen shit is always fucking funny if you understand what it is they're actually doing, right? And that is like they are laundering this bullshit to you. They're like, to all the people asking themselves at home, while watching this, how isn't he in jail already? Oh, they're going to explain it for me. Thank goodness. Now I feel like everything's going to be fine. And
He's a very careful lawyer, Alicia, and prosecutors generally can't make out-of-court statements about the evidence in a case, make any sort of prediction. They can, though, talk more broadly about the fact that a case needs to be resolved and defend sort of the integrity of the process. And Merrick Garland walked that line
Integrity of the process.
in his
Walked
comments.
that line.
What was also
he can't really say anything. They can't say anything. Like, as we watched Republicans
Say everything.
everything all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Does this process apply to them?
Mm.
No, you don't want to make them too upset, though. If we disrespect the process, that will really upset them.
Yeah.
Like, this is so fucking one-sided,
Yeah.
and obviously one-sided.
Yeah.
Like, how can they even pretend?
Yeah.
And, I think Merrick Garland walked that line perfectly. He walked that line of saying absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
in the stupidest timeline.
Yeah, there are so many innocent people in the USA, Jessica, right now, just because they couldn't afford bail or a lawyer
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. Yeah. Two-tiered justice
Literally,
system.
yeah.
I mean, I think there's many more tiers than two, likely. But, I mean, quite obviously there is a big...
Two asterisks.
two with
tier.
an asterisk.
Yeah.
Maybe sub-tiers within the two tiers.
Yeah.
But there are two tiers. Make no fucking mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just baffling to me how these guys can, like, hawk this bullshit about decorum and normalcy when they have been given none of it. And apparently, exposing the weakness of these supposed precious institutions, that somebody can just steamroll over them, and people go, "Oh, I don't know what to do about that."
Yeah.
We didn't.
I guess
plan
I'll just
for
do
this.
fucking nothing.
Yeah, we didn't have a contingency for people just ignoring these rules.
Yeah.
Really?
So interesting to me in that clip that you played was that he kept talking about the special prosecutor has decided, the special prosecutor has brought the case. The special prosecutor reports to him, but has a great deal of independence. The whole reason why he appointed Jack Smith as special counsel was to ensure that this was completely distant from the traditional role at justice because of his appointment by President Biden.
So that's literally it. They're like, they're saying, oh, being all decorum and being cautious, walking on eggshells. I, Merrick Garland, was appointed by Biden. And that's going to seem really suspicious to the Trump people if we just do our fucking jobs like we normally would.
Yeah. And we can't appear as though there's
Like-
any impartiality, whereas Project 2025 explicitly states
Yeah.
that they're going to basically tear
Oh,
down.
we can't pretend that this is politically motivated. Well, maybe it fucking should be.
Yeah, like,
Like,
can
like,
we get politically motivated? Is that on the
everything
table?
they do is completely politically motivated in order
Nakedly
to steamroll over your
politically
Yeah,
motivated.
and all you can do is hold on to these weak institutions that have
Yeah.
taken you fucking nowhere in any of this.
Yeah, the
It's
institutions
laughable.
that literally are only used against you, in every single time that you abide by the rules, the Republicans go, haha, just kidding, we don't actually respect the rules, and furthermore, I'm going to fuck your mother.
Yeah, and then the Democrats are left going, "Oh, gee,
Yeah.
didn't
there's-
we didn't plan for that?
just
Well,
fuck my
guess
mom
there's
right
nothing
in
we
front
can
of
do."
me.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's goofy as shit, man.
It's ridiculous and lopsided. Like, what was that you were saying before? Like, you can only practice civility if your opponent
Yeah.
has a conscience.
Yeah, like civility, talking, debate.
Decorum.
All of this, yeah, decorum. All of it only works if, like, both sides of the conflict or struggle in question have an actual conscience.
Yeah, like this is like going to a slap fight and your opponent, accepts your slap and then pulls out a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Like, it's just they're
But,
not
you know-
abiding by the rules. They don't believe in the rules. They will still wail and cry if
Yeah.
you don't abide by the rules that they make up on the
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
But
Well, and that's
Just-
just it. Because none of it is about sincerity.
no,
Right?
absolutely
Like, none of
not.
it is
or
about
rules
a
for that
real
matter.
sense of justice. This
No.
is about fascist-minded people getting what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Period.
And so the longer that the Democrats pretend that there's still rules in play
Yeah.
and try to be the bigger man, like,
Yeah. They should be asking themselves, okay, like they want to bend the rules and the law to its very limits, to its very outer limits. Let's do the same. Let's respond in kind.
but the thing is that like, they
But they're not.
won't.
Yeah, they're not interested in it.
No,
they're just not interested in it. They will sooner let fascism take over
Yeah.
and all of you fucking suffer
Yeah,
while they can retire, go off somewhere else,
yeah,
live insulated from all the consequences of this.
yeah, because they'll have the moral high ground.
Yeah, but at least we tried to hold democracy together.
Well, at least we played by the rules.
Yes, yeah, the rules that we decided.
Except for when it comes to the rules of the International Court.
Yeah, those ones can
When
be
it when it
ignored.
comes to the
That's
UN
fine.
rules, when it
That's
comes
fine.
to not
But again,
committing genocide,
oligarchy,
when a
oligarchy,
yeah.
right? Like, AIPAC is an extremely powerful organization with lots and lots of fucking money.
Yeah,
And that's what it is when you can have a handful of rich people, even on various sides of the fence, like rich people that are maybe a little more liberal, maybe rich people that are a little more progressive.
Or rich people who are
it's-
gay.
Yeah, or
You
gay,
know,
or black, or
Yeah.
anybody that who, if you weren't rich, would be affected.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the class insulates them from
Yeah.
these consequences.
Yeah. And so when you have people in power who are so far separated from the literal actual consequences of what's happening on the ground, they can say that they have the moral high ground while everyone else who doesn't have their same power is grounded to dust.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you got these people on TV going, well, he's got to walk the line. He's got to be careful what he says politically. Da 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 da. And it's like in a lot of cases, I understand that.
Yeah.
There's probably even examples of us on the show going, yeah, you got to respect the political position that he's in. Da da
Yeah.
da. But we are talking about such obvious criminal activity
Yeah.
with such obvious hefty consequences.
Do you remember?
you know-
In the '90s when an affair was a scandal that could end
Yeah.
a political career? Do you remember in the '90s when misspelling potato could get you discounted as a political
Yeah.
a presidential candidate? Do you remember when there were kind of rules and people did kind of abide from them,
Yeah.
like no matter what side of the bench that you're on?
Yeah.
Like that
And,
was
and now you have two guys who's like are completely senile.
yeah.
They do a lot in the clips that you see of Trump that they still show on TV. Every now and then you get one of his gaffes, but they really seem to try and edit Trump in a way where he does seem mildly coherent. But like, if you actually see like raw footage of rallies and stuff like that you maybe don't necessarily see on mainstream media and things,
Yeah.
senseless rambling, trailing off,
Yeah.
not finishing a sentence, you know,
Sundowning.
yeah, just like obvious sundowning, like forgetting what he's talking about in the middle of him talking about it.
Yeah.
Just like getting completely like names and dates wrong.
Mhm.
It's really adorable that I think that Trump supporters look at Biden and go, "Oh, look at this senile old coot."
Yeah. Like literally
Like, yes,
by,
you're right, but
Yeah. Literally by January 2025, it's going to be Weekend at Bernie's no matter fucking
Yeah.
who.
like these people are getting fucking a foot in the half in the grave. They
Yeah.
they got a couple toes that are still hanging on to dry land, right?
Yeah. Like this is
It's so fucking funny. Like, I mean, it's terrible.
it's
terrible.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Like we're in the weirdest and worst timeline. Jessica says, "Oh, you could totally tell in the speech after he was found guilty,
Yeah.
just rambling and rambling."
Especially because obviously his emotions are up.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of shock of adrenaline and cortisol, perhaps, going through his system. So that definitely doesn't help.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a guy who was and wants to once again be president of the United States,
Yeah.
and we expect people with that level of responsibility to have a little more function than that.
Yeah.
Right?
And Jessica says we laugh so we don't cry.
We laugh so
I'm gonna do
exactly.
both. I'm
Yeah.
gonna multitask. I'm gonna laugh and
I'm
cry
gonna
and
laugh
shit
at the
myself
parts
and
that are
drink, and I'm
laughable,
just
right?
gonna fucking
Yeah.
Like it's all so obnoxious.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something else.
Yeah, you want to talk about something else? Okay, you're done
I'm
with
at
this?
the end
Okay.
of talking about this. So
Okay.
let's just let's move on to a happier topic. Sure, why not? Let's talk about genocide.
Yeah. Okay. So this is really funny, and I love the language. What is it? Lexi Alex uses on here. Great pro-Palestinian voice that I follow. And basically here, let me put it on the big screen here. According to like Bricks News here, President Biden to demand Israel and Hamas to agree to a ceasefire and hostage deal today. And as she phrased it, oh my gosh, that isn't possible. Because this whole time, we've been told over and over again
No.
that there is nothing he could do about this.
Mm.
It was out of his hands. It's Israel's problem,
Mm.
you know. And what does Joe Biden have over what Israel does? Really, you know, sure we might be allies and stuff, but there's only so much.
Yeah, I'm sure we're the one who keeps funding them and sending
And
them.
it-
And
but
by we, I
this
mean the
was an
Americans. I
option
don't
for
mean
him
we.
to do.
Yeah.
At any time,
Mm.
he could have done this at any time.
Yeah, but it considers that maybe 200,000 Palestinians, which is the number I was seeing
Yeah.
earlier today.
Yeah, the numbers
Um,
are from the news that we get on this side of the world, at least. I don't know, they're saying something meager like 20,000 or something like that.
No, they're saying that they're stuck around 30,000-40,000 for a while.
Which is
for a
like
while.
when you
which
look at the
is-
sheer level of
Yeah.
destruction.
yeah.
A certain amount of common sense in you has got to go. Doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
You know.
But then when you take into account the way that what I've been reading is the way that they're able to count legitimate numbers is you need to have a name. But if you
Yeah.
ensure that the people that are destroyed aren't dug out, aren't positively
Specifically
identified,
Yeah.
and then the
you
number
just
of,
have faceless bodies.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
never mind the fact that the people who would be counting, the aid workers and the journalists, for example,
And
they have been targeted and basically chased out. Like if they're not murdered outright, then they have been targeted and chased out of Palestine to make sure that the numbers can be accurately counted and accounted for and broadcast.
Yeah.
So, like, all this is extremely purposeful. So, all of this is just serious and devastating and laughable. Not so that we won't cry, but just laughable in that some people
This
are
is
still
how
buying
this is
it.
how weak these supposed great institutions that we have are.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is supposed to be the greatest system,
Mm.
right? And look at all this shit, you know? And okay, so again, like emphasize that Biden had the option at
Mhm.
any time to use this language, to use this level of force.
Yeah.
And what's even more laughable about it is the deal that he is trying to convince Israel to take
Mhm.
is the exact same one
Mhm.
that Hamas agreed to months ago.
Yeah. And Israel still said
And Israel said no. So what they did
Nah.
is they now like sort of repackaged the deal and are making it sort of like America/Israel are the ones who sort of put this deal together. It's our idea. No, this isn't the same one that we had months ago. No, it is quite identical in terms of the demands on both sides that are laid out. Hamas agreed to this
Mhm.
months ago, and now they're trying to tell you, oh, this new deal. I want you to. I would really love it if Israel accepted this new deal that we just put out there on the
Mhm.
table.
But no, because Israel doesn't want to stop the genocide.
Yeah. And the only reason, make no mistake, like the polls are in. Biden
Mhm.
didn't believe him at first, but I think as time has gone on,
Mhm.
and the political reality of, oh, this could actually hurt me,
Mm.
seems to be setting in.
Mhm.
So that maybe puts a minor dent in my idea that the Democrats have been doing this on purpose. But at the
Mhm.
same time, it doesn't because, again, he had the option to say this shit at
Mhm.
any time, and everybody knows it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't like, oh, it's suddenly gone too far. It was too far from the get-go,
Mhm.
right?
It was too far for the past 75 years.
Yeah, yeah. So now it's a real problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Bullshit. So yeah, just like this irony that is that like, oh, we got this brand new deal that we were only able to put together now.
Mhm.
I only now suddenly have the ability to tell Israel to stop killing children en masse.
Mhm.
Like ridiculous. I was trying to look for this clip because I know you didn't want to talk about Donald Trump anymore. There was this clip because Viva Fry, this guy, I'm not too familiar with him, but he's a Rumble podcast guy. Yeah, I sure hope someone from Team Real Donald Trump is watching this. Share and tag someone you think needs to hear Barnes Law epic rant as to what closing arguments in the bogus New York Trump case should be. Okay, let's buckle in, folks. Let's
I
buckle
haven't
in.
seen this. I've no
Yeah.
idea what this is.
No, there's just a couple real dingers in here that when I watch this, I'm like, oh, this is precious. Let's hear this real professional lawyer have a take here.
First, you got to prove that Trump issued a false bookkeeping item, even though, again, he's not a publicly traded company. So this is purely for internal consumption, which also makes it absurd at a whole other level.
No, it doesn't. That's illegal. That's the entire
No.
purpose of the case. Like, oh man, when right wing guys, even like in a credentialed right wing guy, like a lawyer,
Yeah.
is trying to launder this stuff to the Trump audience, it's so undignifying. In that, like, if this guy actually does know what he's talking about, he knows he is lying,
shit.
full of shit to whoever's watching, and he's like, yeah, they'll just eat this up. They'll love this shit. The hogs will just fucking feed at the trough here.
Frauding the state, Robert, and the voters. That's what it was.
Right. By how? By what? And then the second problem is
Right,
that Trump didn't even
right.
know about the bookkeeping item. But the third one is even
Oh, I didn't know about it.
He's just an innocent
He's
little
just-
baby.
oh,
He's just he don't know about these
Gaga
things.
Google, Trump.
Look at the little baby. He's just so wide-eyed and innocent.
It's amazing. Yeah, I'm sorry I had to bring us back to this topic, but yeah, this was just too good.
if you can get to beyond reasonable doubt to either one of those two, you have to convince the jury that he was doing all of this to commit another crime, and they can't even identify what the crime is. Was there there's been no evidence of any tax crime and tax implications whatsoever.
Like, that's such an obvious lie.
His entire career is only possible because of tax crimes. Like whew.
The entire trial proved that everything this guy is saying is a lie. So he's just basically going on like say it was like the O.J. Simpson trial, right? And he'd be like, "What white Bronco car chase? What car chase? He never had a white Bronco.
He was never married.
He wasn't even married to Nicole. Yeah. That's like what the equivalent. Of
Nicole
what he's
Brown
saying.
Simpson. I mean, he met her in passing, but they didn't have any kind of a relationship, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Yeah. Like that, that's the level of lie we're looking at right here. Like, it's so egregious. Like,
There's no
like how
basis
okay.
for that. There's no basis
No
for any of the other
basis.
potential
No basis
crimes
for it.
other than their supposed campaign fraud on the people of New York related to a campaign. How could a bookkeeping decision in that's entirely internal defraud the people of New York?
Yeah, he is just completely falsifying, like, even what the nature of the case is there,
Yeah.
like about private bookkeeping and
Yeah.
campaigning and stuff like that. Yeah. It's.
What a man and a woman do
I would
is
love
between
to, like,
them and their
I want to
lawyer
know
and their
who
accountant.
actually watches this. Okay, like, who watches this podcast, and what was their honest to goodness
I don't even know
reaction
what
when
this
they were
fucking
watching
podcast
this?
is.
Yeah, I know. Like, he's a Rumble guy, so they're
Although,
they're really in their own media sphere over there.
I mean, 1776lawcenter.com, that kind of says it all, fucking, doesn't it?
yeah. Maybe I should have gone to that website. Here, you know what? Fuck, let's go.
Okay, but then we're going to move on because, like, you are just sapping my will to live.
1776 Law Center. Call Center. Law Center. Okay, let's. Okay, yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, here
I
we
think
go.
we should. I think that we should buy 2 domains. We should buy Law Center RE, the Canadian spelling,
Yeah.
and Caw Center,
Caw.
so that we can get all those.
The 1776 Call Center.
Yeah,
And
so we
have
can
the
get all
eagle
those
there.
spelling
Caw.
errors. Yeah.
Okay, so 1776 Law Center helps those who cannot afford counsel and public advocates to obtain capable, competent counsel and public advocates. What? Wait. Helps those who cannot afford counsel and public advocates to obtain capable, competent counsel and public advocates. That is a mouthful way of phrase. I feel like there is a more concise way to put that.
Especially when their case broadly impacts the liberties of all Americans and the freedom to what we put in our bodies, our defense of self, free elections, and financial empowerment.
Medical freedom. Yeah, this is going to be about,
Vaccines.
Vaccines and shit. Yeah, so you know what kind of angle. Yeah, look, there it is right
Yeah.
there. Big fucking picture.
Whereas reproductive health care,
Yeah, fuck
crickets.
you there.
Crickets.
Yeah. So it's
Crickets.
pretty obvious what this guy's political bend is.
Yeah.
But it's like I would really love to know who like was watching this podcast and was listening to this doctor or lawyer or whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely not a doctor. And basically going like, oh, there's zero evidence in this. And like I'm imagining
Rogan.
people listening to this have some idea of what is going on in the case, right? Some idea that maybe there's some evidence against Trump. Like maybe you still don't believe he's guilty,
Yeah.
but maybe you understand enough that there's evidence. Like, is that type of person watching this podcast, and do they have a moment of pause there?
Yeah, honestly, I think that the only person swayed would be Joe Rogan. He'd be like, "Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, that's really
Oh,
interesting.
Oh, dude, yeah."
That's crazy. You brought that up. Hey,
Yeah.
Jamie, pull that shit up.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay, so what? Oh yeah.
Killing me.
Yeah, I know. I had this in the tab.
It's my birthday.
I'm sorry. That's just too funny though. I hope this image lives in infamy because that poor woman in the glasses that the Trumpers used for ages because screaming like. Yeah, this would be just cause, and I never understood the one-sidedness to that, like that picture of the woman crying, and that was the only one picture that they really grabbed onto, right? Of that sort of like
I'm
made
actually
a meme
not. I'm not
of
even
her.
sure which one you're talking
Oh,
about.
okay. Here, let's see if I can.
Why didn't I disagree?
You'll know as soon as you see it.
Will I?
All right, this one. This image.
Yeah, I still have no idea.
Really? Okay, yeah. This image here, right here, has become like the avatar of like every time they want the right online wants to demonstrate like a person, a liberal or anti-Trump person crying or complaining. This is you right now. This is you screaming about Trump.
I mean, I believe you.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah. So,
me.
and it always made me laugh that this was like the one image that they used, and then like there was nothing already in existence on the MAGA side. Like, yeah, definitely, you can't find on the internet pictures of MAGA guys looking upset. Like that's really fucking rare, right?
Yeah.
Like what? that always blew my mind that they had this one picture. But it's just like we have all the pictures, you know. Really,
They keep just content farming at us.
yeah.
Fucking-
Well, it's like the content farming is like one joke and one picture that they recycle for like 8 years.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
I gotta admire the hustle for the game. I guess. Okay, so. We'll honor Nat's wishes now.
Thank you. Oh my
And get off
god.
the subject, and let's talk about. Thank God. Let's talk about the man versus bear.
Bear.
Yeah, and how obviously most women are choosing the bear.
Yeah.
But the amount of people I've seen, like, just freaking out about this, like I said at the top of the show, like, where if somebody on the internet's trying to debate with you and you just, like, don't want their debate and just say no, and just literally, like, keep addressing them, but you're just like, no, I'm not answering that. It really sends them spinning. And I had a guy do this about the bear thing. he was typing paragraphs at me for like hours, and I was just responding with like the same GIF over and over. But man, he was fired up. He kept going, and he was really upset that I wouldn't accept the nature of the debate about like, oh, you really think that it's okay that the woman would choose the bear? And just in case somebody is out of the loop on this, and you've been living under a rock or
Okay,
something,
may I?
Yes.
So the question is, if you are a woman and you're in the woods, would you rather encounter a bear or a man? It's not a question of you're on a speed dating event. Would you rather get matched up romantically with a bear or a man? It's if you were in the woods and you met a strange bear or a strange man, which would you prefer?
And women overwhelmingly, to the dismay of men, insecure men, evidently, but they're always the loudest when it comes to, you know, these old the meme situations here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were quite upset that women were choosing bear because statistically, even and men love their stats, right? I thought they like, you know, with the debate bros, they love their statistics
Because
right?
facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah, facts don't care about your feelings.
Except for when it's my feelings.
So obviously from the woman's perspective, like I imagine you, correct me if I'm wrong, but I imagine like that question enters your mind and you dive into a realm of personal experience.
Well, like
personal history, right?
For example, in a previous life, I had a blog, Damsel into Tech. This is back when I was active with Slutwalk Toronto. And because all day on Facebook, for example, there'd be these hypotheticals. And so I spent a lot of time a decade ago talking with people, debating with people, expending my emotional energy and time trying to explain the safety tactics that women need to think about and the realities of existing while a feminized person in the society as it exists. And so, yeah, absolutely. I've had to think about existing while containing a vagine about my safety and all that it entails in every fucking scenario, because I'm not allowed to not consider that. Because if I'm ever in a situation where something happens to me, I'm going to be questioned on every single thing that I've thought about and considered and actions I did or did not take. Whereas if it's a bear, for starters, they'll just be like, well, you're a idiot and you got fucking mauled. I mean, it happens, right? Yeah. Like, what are we going to expect from you? Yeah. And that's fair because if not friend, why friend-shaped? Yeah. I've told you this anecdote of a friend.
Pet that dog.
Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? You should cue that up for the end of the thing. Okay. So about a decade ago, well, not quite, but close enough. A friend who's a trapper and a hunter came across an orphaned bear because the mama got hit on the highway. And you're ruining everything.
The guy who invented philosophy.
Me trying to find this video is ruining everything because TikTok just starts auto-playing shit.
Just mute the tab.
I didn't know you can mute
tabs.
tabs.
Okay, go to the top of the tab.
Well, it's not going to be a problem now.
No, it is, because go to the top of the tab.
Hey, everybody. Oh, my God.
Swearing all things good and holy.
You're right.
If you don't listen
You're
to me.
right.
If you don't fucking...
God. Okay, wait. Top of the tab.
No,
okay.
no. The actual tab. Right-click.
Yeah.
Mute site.
Ah. Oh,
yeah.
That's sick.
This is why I'm damsel into tech.
Yeah.
I fucking work in tech. I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I didn't think it was going to be a problem when I clicked over to my profile.
I knew it was going to be a problem.
I don't go to TikTok on my desktop a whole lot, okay?
Anyways, so a friend who's a trapper and a hunter came across this orphan bear because the mama got hit by a car. And so there's this bear of, like, I imagine, like a few months old, and she was just about to take it to animal control, but she had it in the meantime. And she had it in a dog carrier, and she got these big leather gloves on. And so she opens the dog carrier, and with big leather gloves, she pulls it out, and I guess she saw that twinkle in my eye and the change in my stance, because she's like, "Don't touch it; it will maul you." And I'm like, "Thank you, because I was going to. Thank you, because I was literally about to hurl myself into this sharp razor baby and die happily." Probably.
Yeah.
So yes. So I understand the allure of the bear, and I also understand just like the safety precautions, because if you are
Yeah,
I don't even think that
as Jessica just said here, a few areas where the stats and the anecdotes both agree. Yeah. I mean, because like, so even aside from like your personal experience as a woman, if you want to actually look at numbers of what your likelihood of being attacked by a bear in the woods is versus just attacked by a man in general. Yeah.
But also, like, I don't, I expect that people of all genders and combinations will agree that if you meet a strange man in the woods, you're going to be like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Like, maybe if you're a hiker on the Pacific Trail or something like that and you're used to coming across strangers, maybe it's a little bit different. Yeah. But just in general, and this is also speaking from someone who listens to like Mr. Ballin podcasts and stuff like that, where I hear a lot of stories about like, they're out camping. They're they're out camping and they met this stranger and everything's fine and then he murdered them.
Yeah.
So just in general, just strangers. And you know, I know the dudes are gonna be like, yeah, well, women strange and the blah 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 blah. Yeah, fine. Statistically, it doesn't bear it out. But honestly, if I am in the woods and I come across a strange woman, you know, I'm probably gonna be holding on to my bear spray or hatchet, whatever, with them too, because you know. Because I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts and videos and stuff, and so in general, I just don't want myself becoming like another skin rug on someone's log cabin floor.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna show you an example, and it's funny, but it's also like really not in a lot of ways, because this is another guy. He's a host of a podcast that doesn't seem to have a large following. I know that feeling. I'm not knocking him for that.
Yeah,
I'm not knocking him for that.
We don't do it for the views. We do it because we have these discussions with each other anyways, and sometimes it's fun to just record them.
Yeah, exactly. So, and have you guys be a part of it. So thank you for joining us once again. So this guy, he hosts the name of his podcast, if you're ever so curious to check it out, even just like the picture, the file photo that he's chosen to use for his podcast is kind of offsetting, because it's like you see this guy and you're just like, hey, Bryce's Basement Tapes is the name of the podcast, and he seems to talk about some political stuff. I imagine it's very insightful and riveting. So a friend of mine got into it with him over this bear thing, and he proceeded. This is a woman, by the way. Her name's Marcy. And she gave me permission to show these. I asked her, like, hey, can I show these screenshots and play these voice clips that he sent her on the show? So he proceeded to start harassing her because in a Facebook thread, this didn't entirely go the way he wanted to. So this is from a Facebook message. Got something to say? Say it to my face, you pussy. LOL. You using someone else's Facebook to creep me? You are quite the loser. You have no life if you got a spy on me. I imagine it's because maybe he blocked her or vice versa. And furthermore, just like giant paragraphs here. You're one pathetic individual all these years, and you still got to open your cum trap mouth about me. And this is literally just. This is all in response to a Facebook thread about the man versus bear thing. That's what all of this is about. Okay.
Can I choose two bears?
Yeah. Assuming it was my podcast about bears versus men being a psyop to cause division between men and women, that's apparently what he was discussing on his podcast. Okay. It's a psyop. It was a devious plan to drive a wedge between men and women, because before, obviously, this discussion, the relationship on a mass scale between men and women just fine. No other debates to be had. The nature of sexual assault and abortion and those two things crossing over, all of that. No, that was all peachy keen, as you understand. They needed to craft this narrative to drive a wedge between men and women. And so, and this is how he ends that sentence. To drive a wedge between men and women, and you proved me right.
Wow.
As for the bear, you wouldn't last a week lost in the woods without any dangerous animals. Jordan Peterson, a powerful man, has to be capable of. Okay, I imagine he's saying Jordan Peterson said a powerful man. Of course he's quoting Jordan Peterson. Of course he is, right? It just keeps getting better. Has to be capable of great violence, yet not act on it. I remember seeing that clip. Especially weird. Like that was peak weird Jordan Peterson, that clip. I remember that one. Well,
Not that I think that there's a nadir
and of course
weird,
of course he's unironic. This man is being serious. Like if he was playing like a character that was like an incel, I would think this is quite genuinely funny, but no, he is being serious. Okay. So Jordan Peterson said a powerful man has to be capable of great violence, yet not act on it. Well, I am that type of man. Unlike your girlfriend Taylor, her boyfriend, still got a beef with me after all this time, and all you are in on internet shit talker. You able to back up with tasty or nasty cum breath? I imagine that's a typo. Asty cum breath. Yeah, it just keeps going. So then it gets into the voice clips. Okay. This is unhinged. Okay. This is a real dude upset over a woman
in a hypothetical situation.
In a hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
Saying she would choose the bear. So here's clip number 1.
By the way there, fucking Marcy, obviously someone that was in my friends list shared that fucking shit with you, so you can tell that person to go fuck themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So that.
By the way,
number
even
2.
if you were fucking ballsy enough to say something,
I like how he's going. By the way.
Yeah.
to me in fucking public, which I'd highly doubt you would. What are you gonna fucking say? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna hurt my feelings? Fuck.
That seems really hard to do.
Oh yeah. No,
I was always pretty good at hurting your feelings. I'm pretty sure that's why you fucking still have a fucking beef with me, because you're a fucking pussy ass bitch.
Couldn't imagine why anybody has a beef with you, my guy. Couldn't imagine.
I'm not sure who's bigger pussy ass bitch, you or Tay Tay. So you can take that to the fucking bank and deposit it. As far as like, if you think I'm gonna fucking physically touch you, ew, fuck, God. I don't know why the fuck I'd submit myself to that kind of fucking torture.
no one said that.
You're fucking nasty. Fucking disgusting.
Yeah, definitely no one said
You
that was
looked
out
in
of
the
left
mirror?
field here.
Yeah.
I love it. The wind in the background is a really nice touch, because he's obviously walking down the street. He's just really mad.
This is
So
gonna
he's
get this
like
on my chest
he's
right now.
yelling into his
This
phone.
is
It's
fucking
just
important.
Going down the street.
God damn.
Okay, so clip number 3, I think, is coming up. Okay.
Oh, don't worry. I laugh about you and fucking Taylor enough. Like, you're a fucking chick that looks like.
So she's the one that's obsessed with him, but he's going, oh, don't worry, I laugh about you guys all the time. Think about you and laugh. Okay.
Dude, and Taylor's about as fucking tough as a woman. So, you're both a couple fucking transsexuals in my fucking books. How about you fucking go get a fake dick and he gets a fake pussy, because, like, you're a match made in heaven. I'll be saying hi.
Okay, match made in hell would have been a better line, at least. Come on, guy. Missed opportunity.
I had to Tay-Tay when I see him, too. I'll give him a little winky wink from a real man.
What does that mean? Winky
Anyways,
wink?
I'm going to let you
That
go.
sounded really gay. Like, I'm going to give him a little winky wink from a real man.
Rewind
Weird.
to the beginning of that
Okay,
one.
okay.
I'll let you go. I'm about to do some fucking man work.
I'm about to do some
I'm
man
like,
work.
whatever you two do for a living. I guess panhandling with a guitar? I don't know.
He says, anyways, I'm gonna let you go.
All
What
those
do you mean,
reactions
let
on
you
your
go?
post, every single one of those people's fucking pathetic.
I'm gonna let you go. This isn't
Pathetic.
let
He
you
had to-
go. This isn't a phone call. Let you go? What is that? This isn't even This isn't even like a 2-part interaction. This is a monologue.
So yeah, his name is Bryce Foster. He's the host of a podcast called Bryce's Basement Tapes, and I guess there was like that Marcy and Bryce knew each other from some time ago, and somebody showed Marcy this podcast. I don't even think that was it. I think it was just independent of any of this.
Window. I want to see what. Jessica's
Independent of any of this, I'm pretty sure like she was just having the debate, and Bryce somehow found out about it. And so yeah, like in terms of what's really precious is this guy saying, you know, you proved me right about my assessment of this debate. Meanwhile, you listen to that and you go, yeah, do you want to encounter that guy in the woods?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a way to prove us right, and that
he seems nice.
Yeah, real stable, great guy that I definitely want to randomly encounter in the woods.
Yeah, he seems. Yeah, I feel safe.
Yeah, the gayest thing is the straight man trying to sound straight. Yeah, yeah. There's some of my favorite jokes are about like that, like, you know, on what is it, Workaholics. And the three.
That's what she mentioned.
Oh, really? Was that in there?
Not sure if you've seen. Show Working Moms.
Oh,
Sorry.
Working Moms.
Barry
Okay.
2021. I haven't seen it. No.
No, I was thinking Workaholics, where they're like they play a lot of pranks on each other in the office, and the three guys referring to pranking. Start going, do you want us to come on you hard? Do you want three guys to come on you hard? And like, yeah, just shit like that.
I mean,
I love that kind of gag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I had to like, this is like, you couldn't write a better example. Like if somebody wrote that for a sketch where
they'd
it's like,
say that's over the top.
Yeah, it's over the top, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you tried to like write this as a character where you're like, oh, imagine the worst man reacting to this hypothetical, and everybody in the writer's room would be like, tone it back a little bit. You know, nobody's gonna buy this.
Yeah,
they won't accept this.
It's a caricature, my guy. Like, you know, we're trying to keep things in the realm of believable. But then, as I say a lot, in the year of our Lord 2024, we're beyond satire. Like, I don't know how we're supposed to satirize anything, because every fucking day, something new comes out, and I'm just like, how do we top this?
Yeah,
like this is.
You know, generally, and I'm like, I'm saying this somewhat as an insult, but I'm also being somewhat genuine too. I hope that guy gets help.
Oh,
legit. Legit. That was not well.
That's
a
not, lot.
Yeah,
that's
not how somebody who's doing okay sounds, right?
It's a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, like I really got to get my camera mounted on something steady, because every time my desk wobbles very easily, and then the camera wobbles too.
But also, like, you are just like manhandling your mic every time.
I fidget. Okay, I fidget.
do. I mean, I'm fidgeting right now with this. Like the only reason, and I've been fidgeting with like this fucking guy, like this pick. You had those hand picks that like stick to your fingers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm usually like putting those on my fingers, like
I put those away so you can get to them.
So I get the fidgeting. I'm just saying, on camera, you're always just like, you know, just really active.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Hey, happy Pride.
Yeah. I said in the promo that we were going to talk about Pride, but we were having so much fun with the other stuff that we didn't get to talk about Pride that much.
We're gay.
Yeah. We're both very bisexual
we're
people.
Extremely bisexual people.
And we are lucky to have found each other. And I am so happy that it's Nat's birthday.
Yeah.
And
I'm so glad that we match each other's queer, chaotic energy.
Yes, entirely.
Yeah.
Entirely. So, yes, we're definitely going to get into some of the annual Pride discourse. You know, it's like the 6-month mark to Christmas, right? The war on Christmas begins. And then about 6 months later, the Pride Wars begin, where everybody asks the same questions that they do every year. Where's straight pride?
Yeah. I say at your mom's house.
Yeah. That's actually really good. That's one of the best at your mom's house. Like in context, how well that works. That's really good. So yeah, like, you know, what happened to straight pride, or like they're trying to brainwash our children by marching in the streets. Why do they have to look kinky when they're marching.
Why
all
are
the
they-
stuff that has been addressed and talked about.
Why are they
over
shoving
and
this rainbow
over and
dildo down my
over.
throat while I
Yeah.
call them daddy and get them to put a collar on me?
So yeah,
Um,
we'll be getting into some great examples of that, of this sort of stuff that just
Mm-hmm.
happens every year. That it should be boring. It should be by this point. Like yawn. This is
Yeah.
the same thing I hear every fucking year from you losers. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But
So we're gonna turn
yeah,
into
we're gonna have some fun with it.
Gay Gluttony Month and
Yeah.
Gay Wrath Month, and
yeah,
you know, we're gonna cover it all.
the 7 deadly sins. We're gonna invent 5 more deadly sins just so we can have the entire year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of man versus bear, this is one of my favorite internet clips of all time. And speaking of, if cannot pet, why not friend shaped? I think this is just a fun way to end off the show. This lives in my head rent free, okay?
And it
I
will
just gotta
until
say,
we get
like,
mauled to death by it.
Throughout any random day, I hear this in my mind a few times.
Oh shit! Jessica just says so many Hamilton Pride events aren't until August due to the violence at the.
The one in Gage Park in 2019, yeah.
I don't
do.
remember that. Like I believe you,
do
but
remember hearing those stories. I wasn't there. I was there at Hamilton Pride in 2018, so like the year before, and I was there standing on the front lines, blocking the like hate groups trying to hold up their really hateful signs, and we were holding up basically the stuff that blocks their signs. And they are like how we were I was just talking about that guy in the voice clips, how extremely unwell he sounds. That's very much the same energy from those people. It's just they're very unwell, and you can't and it doesn't surprise me that the following year it had escalated. Considering everything. And then, of course, the pandemic happened, so a lot of that stuff just toned down entirely because people just weren't outside as much.
And then everything's ramped up to 11 because the fascists are emboldened. And
Like
they're
I saw
trying
somebody the other day who's like a big pro-Palestinian activist on Twitter, who is like a trans woman, and basically saying like Pride events, I don't attend those. Are you crazy? The clock is ticking. There's going to be a massacre at one of these things.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go to them. And it really broke my heart to hear her say that. But, I get it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so to kind of end things on a lighter note.
Anyways, when I die, let it be by this.
Oh, you told me to mute the
'Kay, go.
thing,
Yeah.
so now I got to go
At the top,
unmute site.
There we go.
Okay, and then I
There
hit
we
this
go.
thing. There we go. I know how computers work. And now we got to rewind it to the beginning because the sound is important here, people.
No.
No.
No, he's sleeping.
I love how the
Escalation.
escalation, how it goes up in steps.
Can't put that down. Can't put that down.
No.
You can't
No.
sleep.
No, he's sleeping.
Yeah,
It's
like
me.
look at that big puppy.
I know. It's okay. He's friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, he's never bitten before.
So far as I
Yeah.
see blood in his face.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah. Maybe we'll end every episode with that clip.
Highly
Pet that
recommend.
dog.
Pet the dog. Yeah. So, as a closing message, pet the dog.
Especially if you're a guy that's inclined to send several unhinged messages
Yeah.
to a woman.
Give the dog a hug and a kiss.
Yeah. You pet that dog, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So let's have the theme music play us out here. And as always, folks, we'll be back next Sunday.